Here, entrepreneur, happy to answer questions. We're going live on a couple of streams. Talking today, committed to 30 days of live streaming. Have multiple businesses here. There we go. We're on. Okay, thanks. Okay. Guys, if you got any questions, it's Nolen Walker, own multiple businesses, have since I could push a lawnmower. Give me a question. I'll tell you some stuff and give you some information. I heard somebody say this the other day, and I agree with it. 90% of business is marketing. Everything's fixed from here. This is like the promised land of any business. Anybody you can name that you admire in business almost was a heavy duty, hardcore marketer. So I want you to think about that. I'm here to help people. I can answer business questions, marketing questions, all kinds of stuff. But as you do everything, just remember this stuff. It's important to market. Again, any business questions, got questions about being an entrepreneur, how hard it is, how easy it is, what's good, what's bad. I'll be happy to answer questions. Anybody has any. So questions, I will tell y'all, again, nonstop marketing. If you're sheepish, get over it. If you're trying to go into business, you're going to have to get over that. Marketing is your thing. You can have your skill sets available and it won't matter. I don't care what you're doing. We over the years have dealt with a lot of home service contractors, roofers, plumbers, HVAC. I own a company, a couple of companies, digital marketing agencies. We work with HVAC webmasters, plumbing webmasters, roofing webmasters, data pens, map ranking app, a lot of home service contractors. So done it for a really long time. And then, I've owned multiple other types of businesses, a little bit of real estate. And I love being an entrepreneur. Love helping other businesses and other people. And the Nolen Walker stuff, I'm really just trying to talk to people, give advice, be helpful. If you have questions, I'll tell you nowadays, one thing that's changed drastically is your brand, your company brand, your personal brand. You are a brand, that is what you are to the algorithms, I guess, at very least. So your personal brand to the algorithms, your personal brand to Google, Bing, ChatGPT, all the algorithms that like judge your data. That is what you are. So if you don't understand that your digital signaling is making or breaking you, it's a big deal. And I don't care if you're doing an online product or if you're a home service contractor or a professional service, you've got to have something. Let me ask. So question, is a business category safe from being made redundant by AI? Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I'm on here, I think at least for now, I think humans want to talk to humans. So a human-based business is pretty safe for now. A personal brand is a pretty safe thing. So is there a business category safe from AI? I tend to deal in a lot of them, by the way. I consider some of these like the last bastions of like American entrepreneurial stuff. Some of it's newer, like if you're going to go onto social media and be an influencer and get AdSense dollars, that is a great category. You're a person dealing with people. I like contractors, roofers, plumbers, HVAC, even lawn care, power washing. Not anywhere on the horizon is this stuff gone yet. And so that stuff as well. So if you can tie in personalized stuff together, it's your sweet spot for not worrying about stuff too much. Now, having said that, AI is affecting everything, and you should use it to compound your human activities. So anybody not using it a little bit here and there, there's just points in time. And a lot of it, guys, it's already being included. You don't have to worry about whether you're going to use it. You just have to try. So if you called, like, for example, and you're a roofer or plumber or HVAC, and you called roofing webmasters, plumbing webmasters, HVAC webmasters, or data pens, we're already integrating AI for you. So our professional service is helping your service business, and you have AI and you don't know it, but you've got a professional service providing it. So it needs to be integrated, but I wasn't overly concerned about it. And somebody asked us the other day, I mean, if the category was hardcore about to get gobbled up by AI, I might move in a different direction, but otherwise I wouldn't live in fear. I think that I don't want you not moving forward with entrepreneurial stuff because you're worried about what's going to happen and worried about whether something's going to, chop out humanity in the future. So that stopping altogether is probably not a good idea. But contractors, personal brands as they go through digital marketing and stuff like that. Guys, appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'm here to help out if you got any questions. I've been in business for 35 years, I think, on my own. I can answer all kinds of stuff like overhead, what to do first, where to start, problems, issues, marketing, that kind of thing. So yeah, I can help with all kinds of things if you got questions. Any questions from anybody, I'm happy to go over it. So a lot of people's perception of this is off. I mean, you make judgments on people. You go through and judge people and hate on people a little bit, and it stops you personally from growth. But I would encourage you to participate in some of these changes in society. Social media, Google optimization, showing up online, AI integrated search. These don't have to be negative topics. A lot of times they're spoken about in a negative way, or people don't think they can participate or get up there, or they view it negative, so they don't use it for their own business or their own entrepreneurial stuff. And I'd encourage you to think differently about it, to not judge it, to kind of get in. You can do things with integrity and the way you want to do it, and you can proceed forward and have a great time of it. Most people out there, if you are in business and you aren't coming in full speed on doing this, you're going to have a hard time having a successful business. So I think it's important. I wanted to talk about people's perception to your brand, perception to everything else. If you've got any questions, I can answer questions. But if I had to get a business owner's head screwed on straight, especially the ones that I talk to, it's that you are your digital branded signaling. That is how you show up. The algorithms of Google and Bing, ChatGPT, AI, and also social media and all that, it's all out there in the ether and taken into consideration. And that's how you get found nowadays. That is the best stuff. And it is fabulous. So there's a lot of greatness out there, but there's a lot of confusion. And I really just want you to have a better perception and then begin to participate. Try to participate. Most people judge it, see it in a weird way, and they don't participate. That just kind of stops them dead in their tracks. It just feels so overwhelming. So we help people with this sort of stuff all the time. In fact, part of our service is continue to coach them as well, not just provide ability for them to show up on Google and mapping and reputation reviews and social media and AI search and organic things that are a really good return on investment, but to help the business owner understand why it happens, how it happens, and what they need to do to dominate and continue to dominate. Because mainly what I see is people's perception gets messed up, their understanding of what's happening. It's like if you go out there and work and do a plumbing job or a roofing job and you did nothing to go out to the internet that day, no digital signal sent, which we have stuff like data pins that makes it easier for a contractor to do this. Like, here's a job I did. I worked on a Bravo barrel tile or a GFHD Timberline shingle, or replaced a Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat or a Navy and tankless water heater. Then they'll say, oh, there's a geocoordinate wrapped in schema, unique photos, and a technical version of what happened in a AI generated page of content that is a great user experience, i.e. helpful content. And then it's digital branded signaling without cheating, meaning not just links or some blog that nobody in their right mind wants to read. So when you're signaling, most people, old school, they're doing just spam and trash. And they wonder why it doesn't show up. Owner doesn't participate at all, and they wonder why it doesn't work. I really think that all entrepreneurs, you have to participate at least a little bit and be on target and participate a little bit. If you're not willing to do any participation, then you're going to have a hard time. You need to be able to participate a little bit. So we're here. Part of this is to coach people and to help them understand it. As far as my Nolen Walker channel is concerned, it's just for me, it's an obvious thing that's needed out there right now. We all feel it. There's a movement for personal branded stuff, and a business person should at least be thinking about it. So you're thinking about a personal brand, right? You're wanting to do something. You need to move forward with some of this. Now, if you're a contractor, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you need to have the basics of old school set up and then signaled better, meaning a website, your Google map, all of that. To this day, you cannot locally search on social media for stuff hardly at all. Very poor. In fact, social media search is probably the equivalent of Google from 2004 today. So it might change, but today that's what it is. So most homeowners are still getting information off Google, Bing, and now AI search. Any questions? I'm Nolen Walker. I am the owner of multiple businesses, roofing webmasters, HVAC webmasters, plumbing webmasters, data pins map ranking app. Been in business since I could push a lawnmower, weed eat, and bag leaves. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, if you have any. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words. Any questions that anybody has, and I'll be happy to answer them. So again, let's talk about some ways to move forward if you're stuck in a rut. I'm going to start you with positive narratives. I am like a daily affirmation. This doesn't have to be all materialistic things, but you could have some in. I'm not beating you up on wanting a nice car, nice house all the time. Just make some of them. You're a good person. You're a great marketer. I'm great at sales. I'm great at social media marketing and organic optimization, Google marketing. Make positive statements about yourself and what your company's doing, your business, and even your personal life is going good. And so set a positive narrative so you don't have so much negativity and flooding in there and confusion that you don't move forward. I think that's the first thing. You call people. Sometimes I call people and I can tell they're so far, or let me rephrase it. Somebody reaches out to us and looks for services. And one of the questions is, I need leads. Well, a lead buyer for a contractor is the wrong mindset. We get leads for people, but when you buy leads from Home Advisor, Angie, Yelp, Thumbtack, paid ads, you're buying leads. You're not making a brand. You're buying leads from other people who've done a brand. So you're buying leads. It's almost like pawning money. It's hard to get a return on investment dollar. So when somebody's mindset hasn't stopped to think, hey, where am I with a business? What is marketing? How can I get up in ranking? Because everybody in Pack 3 mapping and organic that I see is who I want to be. Am I talking negative about that? How did they do it? And so when someone calls and say, I need leads, I mean, they're in a rough shape and in a rough mindset. So you can get leads and you can get daily call volume if your brand signaling is strong. It's just a different way of looking at it. It's better leads when you have a brand. People go buy a lead from a service and they're just shopping. In fact, they might get 5 or 10 bids on something. So that's a rough thing to do. But if you have a brand out there, you might get a lot of calls and nobody ever shops, or very few people shop because they like your brand. They found you. They found you not like Home Advisor Angie. They found ABC Roof or ABC Plumbing. They found you online. So that shopper likes you, sees data pins, sees photos of you and your family, your military pictures. I got a guy that does that. I love it. And then you and your family fishing, and then some logoed shirts, wrapped trucks, and the site looks nice, and the map popped up, and the reviews look good, and the data pins look good. They pop over and see a little piece of social media, and they're like, I don't need to go any further. I like Jonah here. He's a good guy. Jonah's who I'm going with. And then you call up and go, well, we'll give you a bid. It's like, I don't trust you. I trust this guy. I bought into his brand. I like his signaling. I'm comfortable. And so that is what brands does for you. When someone's running circles, buying leads from people, their ROI is horrible. They're having a hard time, and they never understood what had to be done in the first place. So a lot of what we do here is, I can't work with somebody if they're too far back, but we don't judge them, try not to, have love for them, and try to give them a little information, and then hope to talk to them again in the future. So part of what I'm trying to do with Nolen Walker is to make the world a better place for entrepreneurs, help more people become better entrepreneurs, help people with their marketing, give them no nonsense advice. I've told y'all before, I don't like it if I'm a poser, if I'm not coming off right. I might try something every once in a while, but if I get off too much and I feel like I'm a faker or I'm trying to grandstand, I'll draw back and just be myself. I had one that went pretty well in a short, and if I try to fake it or if I'm a poser, I'll draw back and won't do stuff like this. And I believe people are going to follow me for me being more authentic and real. And I think that's why a lot of you guys don't do this either. It's like, well, I could never be like Gary Vee or Grant Cardone or Bradley or whoever. Don't then. Just be yourself. I'm in here. This is how I normally dress. It's what I normally do. And I'm sitting down just making content and getting out here to you guys. And I'm doing the best I can. And things are going well. It's going very well. We're putting out a lot more. And I personally feel better. And I know I'm going to resonate to a lot of people. So if I had to give you some help, if you wanted to break through on social media stuff, just try to be yourself. As soon as you sit down and put on a radio announcer voice, stop and go, oh, that made me feel like a jerk. I'm not going to do that again. And then go back at it again and do it your way. And then don't overdo the big show. We're doing a lot now. Got multiple people hired around this, but we already had digital marketing agency. Do it yourself with a phone. Don't worry about your phone several versions old, and put something up and get better and feel a little better. And don't do anything that's not yourself so that you don't feel like a poser or a faker, jerk about it. And then you can feel good about what you put out there to people. And you don't have to, I thought I was going to be radical. I haven't really done any radical stuff, not because I'm trying to hold myself back, but I personally like working from caring about people and love for people and helping. So that's my main focus, is just to help. I have a lot of strong opinions that'll come out every once in a while, but mainly I'm here to help. I want to be of service. I want to help humanity. And the more I feel like I do that without judging anybody, the better I feel, the better I seem to do. So I'm really just here to help. And I don't want to get into the weeds or worry about stuff. And I think that I can make the world a better place just by helping entrepreneurs and helping confusion in it. And free, this part of it's free training. It'll turn into something later if I do a coaching or a Kajabi or something at some point where people can buy more services. But right now, I'm just here trying to give free advice. Anybody have questions on anything? I started at 14 doing root clippings. One thing I like about these, I get to get my story out a little bit. When I was a little kid, we lived down close to, we were in a neighborhood called Tanglewood in Fort Worth, close to Colonial Country Club and TCU. And it had a lot of trees. We had a greenhouse, and there was a lot of neighborhood ladies. They like to have hanging baskets. And I went to nurseries with my mother. And around 14, I did these root clippings and bought a bunch of hanging baskets with my own money that I'd gotten for mowing the lawn and doing stuff. And sold those. I let them grow all year long, and I sold them for pretty good money, like these massive hanging baskets. That was the very first thing I did, but it was a lot of work, and I only got like 30 or 40 of those hanging baskets. They lined up in the rafters of the greenhouse in our small backyard that I worked on all winter long. And then I got into mowing lawns and painting curbs, and then I got kicked out of my house. Someone said wrong when I made this comment the other day, but in my opinion, almost all entrepreneurs had a hard time at some point. And I don't care if somebody had a pretty nice life or a very rough life. I think everyone's journey is rough on them and important to them. But for whatever happened to me, I was on my own at 17. I thought I was going to go to TCU and get a bed to lay my head on and some support. I did not. And so I ended up mowing lawns and painting curbs and doing stuff like that. And I think that that's par for the course for most entrepreneurs. Nowadays, I think some kids can have support from their parents and start in social media and not have to do this. But most entrepreneurs are, kind of road to hard knocks. They're not going to go start a plumbing, roofing, HVAC business or push a lawnmower like I did unless they had to. But it doesn't mean that it was a bad thing to do. It ended up in a nice place for a lot of us, by the way, just a little bit tougher to start. Well, man, everybody wants to be king, right? Everybody wants to be king. I don't blame you. Be king. I always say, by the way, I'm fighting for Team Walker, and I'll fight any competitor. And so I want everybody to win, but I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you to be king in my spot. When it comes to marketing, do you favor hiring internal team or getting? Yeah, I appreciate the question, Jason. But yeah, fight to be king, man. Of course, be your own man. We're all trying to get to a better place, and you're king of your castle anyway, right? So, fight for your family. I love that kind of comment. All right, as far as agency work and your marketing, let's talk about agency work and marketing. The internal team won't know what to do. In fact, I will tell you, I started with an internal team at Guardian when I was selling home security systems, and it broke the bank. Yeah, maybe so. I tell you what, I try to collaborate more the older I get, but I fight alone on a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm an island up here in some ways. It takes people helping me for sure, but there's a lot of things I take on my own shoulder by myself. But yeah, it does. You will need help. Absolutely. There's about a dozen people up here right now helping me. But I'm fighting my own fight and with help. So I don't know. I agree. And I have my own thoughts on that. But as far as the agency, I hired about 4 or 5 people. I think I spent way back then about $250,000. Broke the bank. I didn't make any money on it. I got mad because some agency messed me around back in 2005. And so the internal team had to go. They were very exorbitant. So I don't think it's dumb to have somebody internally helping, but without professional services, you're not getting the best website. And we have a team and, $100,000 in overhead just in human resources. And those people help you guys. And then we do things you can't do, like data pins and details, attention to detail. We know a lot of things to keep you from chopping your head off too, like what type of location, whether you should move, change the name. I mean, we're updating things. We're doing citations, links, domain authority, speed, SSL certificates, updates and changes. We know the nuances of the type of content. Like we don't blog, and almost all y'all are blogging, and it's wrong, and it's going to cause penalties. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. I had somebody come in here and troll me the other day and said they came to troll but stayed for the knowledge. So I appreciate it. I think if you have a business, I think it's great. Do you have a business? If you got a question, ask it. As far as the internal team, you should be involved in your marketing. The owner, Jason, should be involved. And then they should have it. If they're a service company, a home service company, that home service company doesn't need a lot of internal staff. They could do a little bit, but the owner's got to be involved. The owner needs to be involved. So yeah, you should have an agency helping. There are professional services here that you cannot duplicate, that you'll mess up. And you probably do not want to have an internal guy where the owner says, hey, you're handling this now. All the time we'll have some kid call from some contractor that we do business with, and they start running ramshackle and making dumb decisions. The owner checks out. That is the worst thing in the world you can do. Almost any successful company you can think of, the owner stays involved. I just had a daughter that started OU, man. So yeah, one thing I'll tell you, I don't entirely hate on university stuff at all. Like I said, I had a daughter just started Oklahoma University, and literally about to start. And taking some knowledge, grow, and keep an open mind, and be ready to fight and work when you get out. I think if I was in a university and I didn't get to go like I thought I would, and by the time I was paying for myself to go, I got really busy. I was making like $1 million that year net back in 2003, and I quit going 2002 maybe. And I quit going to college. I was paying for myself though, and I could barely get a loan back then. From the government. They weren't giving loans to guys like me. And but if I had to do it today, I'd get a professional something that required a degree, and then I would market that through social media. So here's an idea for you. I don't know what you're doing, but let's say that you have a degree in teaching, helping kids with executive functioning disorder, or something else where people are having learning stuff, and you have like mothers like devouring information to try to help their children. And then you want to get paid like $250 an hour. And if you get that degree and you get a profession, you can be broke. You can be a broke accountant or a psychologist or this. Like I would get like I went and gave you something specific because I'd delve into a specific thing, and then you could have a niche that had like an Instagram and YouTube channel, and then mothers helping their children would hire you for a consultation that required a little extra, and you get paid very well and book your schedule. My dad's a CPA and he's a great guy and he retired, but he never marketed much or understood that part of it. And you can have a professional degree and be very poor, and you can have a valuable degree that requires state licensing. And then you can do well. I went to VidCon. Is it called that? Yeah, it's not actually. If you have a degree at something, someone's going to want professional services with specific skill sets, and I promise you they'll pay for that stuff. And very few people do this. So I was at VidCon with my daughter, who is social media influencer at 17 and making good money on AdSense, shocking amount of money. And when I was there was an accountant from Dallas named Duke. He's 28 years old, and he was invited by VidCon to speak on a panel. He's a cool guy, and he already has 20 people working in an accounting firm. But again, my dad's a CPA, was a CPA. So, oh, cool, man. Shoot, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that, but mathematics is awesome. I like the sound of it, by the way, because you can't mess with math much, right? It's hard to manipulate math. I love it as a category topic. I took economics and philosophy, by the way, when I was there, but I think it's hard. It's easy to manipulate economics. It's hard to manipulate mathematics, and so maybe the truest thing somebody could study, besides old school philosophy or something. I like it. But anyway, so when we were there, Duke had 160,000 followers on an Instagram account called Duke Loves Accounting. He has 20 people working for him, and he's a marketing machine combined with a professional service. And it was awesome to hear him and to watch him. And so when you're doing other stuff, I don't care if you are going to university, you can start a brand. And I'll give you something, Mr. Denver, if you have any way for that to make more money for you, then the personal brand will accelerate that. And you don't have to have a monetization of that today. So anybody out there, young, older, want to start something, if you'll start doing something online and get eyeballs for your specialty or your talents, whatever they are, if you can mentally handle a little bit of rejection or trolling or whatever, you can do that, and then it will accelerate your personal brand, and later you can monetize that. So a lot of marketing has to do with faith that something will be there. It takes a while. Most people give up, so they'll give up on it. We have multiple brands that have been up a long time on multiple platforms, like 15 years. And then I start up a personal brand, and I have faith that it will help that. I know it will. I don't even have to guess, it will. And we continue accelerating and stepping it up. So yeah, mathematics though, man, good for you. The true subject, right? No, very little way to mess that up. True knowledge. All right, guys, any other questions at all? I will answer any questions you've got. I'm happy to answer them. I'm Nolen Walker. I'm owner of Roofing Webmasters, Plumbing Webmasters, HVAC Webmasters, DataPens Map Ranking App. I owned a home security company that did 23,000 alarm system sales and installs throughout Texas, and pushed lawnmower and painted curbs. Yeah, I don't know if you can, I'll say even if you're in mathematics and you're like going to get a job somewhere, if you're like some Mark Rober of mathematics online and somebody looks you up for a job and there's multiple people looking for that, maybe you're like into like programming AI or some sort of high tech stuff with that, like Mr. Denver's the bomb, and geez, we're going to hire this guy. So instead of going on there and finding you throwing up TikTok dances drunk, they find you like ripping equations and doing some cool stuff, and it's nichey and not many people follow you, but you've got this awesome stuff for your niche up there. Don't think it's not helpful. It's helpful. So, and on top of that, you'll build and have community. So you might be lonely out there in the world and like, God, not that many people know this niche that I'm in the mathematics, but you build some community of your own, even if only 300 people follow you. Or if you, I mean, it's just, there's a lot of benefit that comes from it if you're willing to put yourself out to humanity in this mess and do the best that you can. And I think that it'll help almost no matter what, but it might not. I mean, you might be in some niche where it just doesn't matter, so maybe it's for you, maybe it isn't. I think typically there's benefit, typically. All right, guys. Any other, and no, yeah, it's not, I mean, you can get a tutor, by the way, Matt, but there's nothing wrong with getting a tutor. There you are. Yeah, that might work, man, right? Drunken math on TikTok while dancing. There you go. You're going to go viral, right? Just might not feel good about yourself and go long term. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, people do it, but I don't think it's a good long-term path for that sort of stuff. Yeah, guys. But yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. Happy to answer anything else. I'm committed to doing a little bit of this each day. For me personally, in case you're wondering, I'm just doing some of this. I do have businesses. I do have other stuff. Right. I know. I mean, I know it's out there. So yeah, it's funny stuff. We all watch it. I wonder, we'll have to have I'd like to see where are they now? What happened to this person, that person on TikTok, or Instagram or the one hit wonders, we'll have to all look back in 20 years. I hope they all do well. I hope but I worry about some of these people that put information out there. But yeah, forever judged now. Right. And then I think people fall off pretty quickly nowadays. You got to I think long term, you're better off to kind of keep your integrity, although there's money and sensationalism nowadays for sure. All right, let's see here. Any other questions at all? And I'll tell you what, if you want to have any other stuff, I will tell you that I am shocked by how much results we get off of this stuff. More than you think. And we've been doing business for a long time, used to back in the day. And I don't want to get stuck on this too long, but we had to direct mail and do yellow pages and Valpak and mailers. Then it went into doing Google, and Google we still do. And that's still the best thing for a lot of people, tons of people. There's a movement going on and it's going to change, but it hasn't changed yet. As you're a homeowner, you're still going to Google mapping, regular algorithmic search and AI search. Hang on, let me read some of these. Yeah, it would. Yeah. Okay. Question. Yeah, I don't hate the arbitrage stuff. I think arbitrage is nice because you could, talking about like Airbnb arbitrage, renting something out and renting. I'd be careful about it. Make sure you have an out clause. I'm not an expert on it, but I think it's a cool thing to try. I think you're going to have to learn something like Hostfully and some other programs that can wrap in management for that kind of thing. I would be careful right now. I've had my own experiences on some stuff, and I'm not against leveraging debt with real estate. I think it's one of the better things. I think it's hard to get a return on it. Something like the arbitrage, depending on if you can back out of those things or not, might be safer for you. Try one and move forward, but things can take you out. So make sure that you can back clean out quick. I would rather see you share revenue on an arbitrage than be saddled with a monthly fee on it. And by the way, just for the sake of saying so, the heyday of Airbnb arbitrage is not there right this second. That was post-COVID pent up demand for places like Broken Bow or Ho Chi Town, Oklahoma, for example. Hey man, thank you, Denver. Appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you for that. Come back anytime, and good luck with mathematics. Good stuff you're doing. I think I'm kind of jealous, but yeah, appreciate it. Airbnb arbitrage, though, the heyday's over. So people are driving to Ho Chi Town, Oklahoma from DFW or Broken Bow, and I don't have any issue with it. Just be careful because now the economy is a little rough on it. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, so be careful with it. Do one, and if you can get an agreement to get out of it, because what if they shut down the country again for COVID-25 or something? You just don't know. What if the economy gets worse and all that, and you're making money? So get one with somebody and get a out clause, but try one and don't let it break the bank. And as most of the real estate will not cash flow right now anyway, but if you get something you might move into, I think you buy up to a quadplex, right? If you haven't bought your own home yet, you buy a house on an FHA, 1 to 4 family, and that might be a good move for you. At least you get something with a little upside and you make a wise decision and be a little bit careful about it. And then that property, maybe you can find something where you pay part of the mortgage. You probably won't make all of it on a duplex. Maybe you could make almost all of it on a quad. So the FHA loan on the first one on like a 1 to 4 family might be a good thing as well. And just kind of be careful in the current climate and don't over leverage currently. I have opinions on it. I did a lot of the Airbnb stuff and bought stuff and had a problem with a local community on their opinion of Airbnb. And so, yeah, I will tell you too, I like people if you're a business owner doing stuff, live this life well. So as I've lived in another state on a vacation dream, what somebody might consider a dream life. At 51, I've spent like 4 of my years on Earth on an island, renting out Airbnbs on it and buying stuff and living there back and forth to Texas. And dreams and all that they're a mirage almost. Once somebody reaches a dream destination, it isn't what you think it is entirely. And the people that are there are disillusioned because they were looking for greener grass, and then there's always something missing. So live the day-to-day life, get a simple home if you can. I know it's harder to get a house right now, but you can still get one. So don't listen to all the negativity. You can work and get a home still. Is it harder than the 1980s? Maybe, but there's also opportunity, and you can still do it and make sure that you have a nice yard, some trees, and you fix up the place inside so you don't feel like you have to take a vacation. Not that you might not go visit places and have fun, but a lot of times I see people on vacation because I've lived in those places. And currently in Fort Worth, I like it here. I like being in the mix of work mainly, and then having my home feel like a place of refuge or a vacation itself. And then we still go somewhere every once in a while. I'm not done doing that stuff, but I don't view that destination dream as the same as I used to. So as you're doing the stuff, be careful. And I'd also be careful about arbitraging too far away, but I know people do. But good luck with it. And there's some people on Instagram that claim to help with it, by the way, with the arbitrage. So don't hate it at all. Airbnb arbitrage stuff seems like it could be something to try. And I'll give you one last thing, and I'll shut up about the arbitrage. Do a little bit and quit. Don't just go crazy with it, unless you can go crazy with it and not. Oh, if your overhead balloons and other things and liabilities, if you can shrink all that like that, go for it then. But if you overhead go and then you can't shut off, be very careful, because stuff will shut off on that stuff. Sometimes you need to be able to dip. I've seen people that look like they're making a lot of money though. All right, guys, any questions for me? I'm going to be happy to answer them as best I can. Thanks for these questions. I enjoyed them. I enjoy helping you guys. I enjoy answering these. I'll answer them the best I can. If I have any information about them, I have done Airbnbs. I have done Hostfully. I have done, there's a lot of little tricks to Airbnb. Hostfully, you want price labs. I said I'd shut up price labs for your pricing. Hostfully. Close these people yourself online, by the way. Do not, call them on the phone. These people that you're trying to set up, get involved with the sale. Any other questions? Happy to answer stuff. Nolen Walker, I own multiple businesses. I have owned a lot of businesses over time. Enjoy working, enjoy being an entrepreneur. I've embraced it fully, I feel like, at this point in my life. We're all trying to escape, it seems like, but I like my life. Roofing webmasters, plumbing webmasters, HVAC webmasters, data pins, map ranking app, and a little bit of real estate. Other questions I can help. Anybody got a question? I'd love to help out. All right, guys. Let's see. I think I'm going to draw a close. I'll give you a few seconds to ask me. I'll ask anything. Ask me anything, and I'll answer questions for you. I enjoy these questions. Thank all y'all, by the way. I wish you all the best. I'm here rooting for you. There are people like me out here who want you to succeed, by the way. Don't think everybody's bad and all information bad. I want the best for you. And I'm not the only one. I'm an unusual guy for being on lives and online, but I want the best for you. I do. I care about you and I want you to succeed. Come back on if you like what you're hearing. Subscribe and I'll come help again. I'll be on every day if I can, at least 5-6 days a week. Y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Best of success on everything.